Well, welcome back to Kia Thursday Night Footy, and it is up Cronulla in the Shire tonight after their win. And I'm pleased to say Cameron McInnes, their captain, joins Alana, Paul Gallen and I at the desk here as we have a look at these Maccas highlights. Cameron, congratulations. What a win. What a turnaround, not only just from last week, but also what a turnaround from the first half to the second half.
Yeah, it was a funny one the first half. We felt like physically we were on top, but they just capitalised on a couple of moments there. So a couple of their tries there just through the middle were disappointing, but we felt like we're in the game. We just had to settle things down a bit and start giving away stupid penalties, which helped in that second half.
Cam, I feel like you won the battle in the middle early, really brought Blake Blay into the game, and then it sort of went away from it. But the whole second half, you just won that battle in the middle of the field, and they were constantly on the back foot.
Yeah, and when you hold the footy and you build pressure, there's a bit more juice to go through the middle there. So that's the lesson. Like last couple of weeks, we've been compounding errors, penalties on your line, constantly trying to come off and then kick the ball and then repeat like that. So, yeah, you hold the footy and good things happen in our game.
It's always important, Cam, coming out after half-time and making a bit of a statement. Your milestone man, Braydon Trindle, was able to score a try off Trindle, but what's the week been like for him celebrating his occasion?
Yeah, massive. Obviously, Brit's really quiet and goes about his business and such a humble superstar, but he didn't want to make it about himself, but he means so much to our group, and he's been outstanding the last few years, so we all wanted to put in a performance for him, and he did his part tonight and then some, so yeah, really proud of him.
Now, Cam, as a middle, we don't make light of giving wingers rust, but I thought Sione Katoa, the fact he's been out for the majority of the year, but I thought tonight he was fantastic. He scored a couple of really good tries. This one here off the scrum, one-on-one, he's pretty hard to handle.
Yeah, and you see him carrying the ball back and bouncing off defenders, and like when you were playing and you're pretty tired, you're running down the field and wingers are bouncing around, it's exhausting. So when he's doing that for us, we get a lot of energy from him.
What about for yourself as well? These local derbies, they mean a lot for the fans. They love having bragging rights. But for you, your history at the Dragons and at Cronulla Sharks, what does it mean for you?
Yeah, there's a few in the club that have been on the other side of it. But, I'm well and truly a Shark. That was a long time ago and great memories there. But I love this club to death. And the last couple of weeks haven't been what we wanted. But what I love is everyone stuck together and got after it this week. And wasn't perfect tonight, but... yeah, it was a job well done.
Important win though, Cam, because now you're on the road for a couple of weeks. You've got to go up to Suncorp, take on the Brisbane Broncos, and then you head down to play the Melbourne Storm. What do you think some of the positives out of tonight's game will be crucial for those big ones?
Yeah, just staying in it at half-time, addressing it, and then coming out and really having a really good second half. And footy's not perfect, and who knows what's going to happen next week, but the way we stayed in the game tonight and then able to come over the top, that's going to be really important in the next couple of weeks.
I think for myself also, last week you had Blake Brayley's 150th, unfortunately not the result that you wanted, but the way he's played tonight, particularly in the second half, scored 30 points to nil in the second half for Britain, who's been here his entire career. That's a pretty good effort, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, and it's so important to show each other how much we mean to each other with that. So, yeah, we didn't get our job done last week, but tonight was for Brit and Blake.
Well, you can see the haka that he was just receiving there as well. So you see just how much he means to this team and how much the team means to him as well. So congratulations on the win and a big week next week too.
Cheers, thanks guys, top.
Good luck, mate.
Next week for the Cronulla Sharks, they do take on the Brisbane Broncos as well. Let's talk about some of the big moments from that match. There was a moment in that second half. Ronaldo Mulitalo, this was his first game back from suspension, and it was a pretty big hit as well. Do you see this as a bit of a turning point in the game?
Yeah, I think it's particularly when you got wingers come out of the line. Look, I've got to be honest, I thought the way the Sharks started the second half and kept it going the entire 40 minutes was really good. One thing I've wanted the Sharks to get better at the past few weeks is be a bit more aggressive in defence. For me, they're outside. Like, Fanil Blake's the best front row in the competition, but sometimes worries too much about his attack rather than getting off the line and really putting a big hit on. So I think when your wingers coming out of the line and doing it, putting a big shot on, I think it makes your middle forwards really fire up. And I thought it was a big play from Ronaldo, showing the middle forwards how to do it, and I thought the middle boys went on with it and continued that role for the entire second half. And they were very, very dominant in the second half, the Sharkies. The Dragons didn't look like scoring a point, to be honest. The Sharks were making 50, 60, 70 metres a set. They scored a couple of tries back-to-back. So, I thought in the back of their middle, they had won the game pretty comfortably in the second half.
It was a big energy shift, though, wasn't it? And
Definitely.
Ronaldo Mulitalo is one of those players that can bring that out in his team. Like you spoke about, that moment there, that inspires him, that sort of sets the tone. I thought he had a few key moments right throughout the game where he was able to have that kind of an impact. But, yeah, what a player for them to have Tricky Trindle, he put a few kicks up to his edge and tested him in the aerial skills as well. So a big threat, but a huge inclusion for the Sharks.
Well, speaking of Tricky Trindle, let's hear from him now. He's standing by right now with our very own Brad Fittler.
Braydon Trindle, first and second half look like completely different teams. What was the difference?
No, I think second half we just got a bit of field position. I didn't think we went too bad in the first half, but they just had better field position than us, and we came out, a bit of wind behind us, and we're just putting the kicks in the right spot and got a bit of that back.
Well, it's something that looked a bit different was Blake Brayley getting out of dummy half. What'd you make of that?
No, he's awesome when he runs. He splits the defence and set me up for one there too, so yeah, he went really well tonight.
How many did you score tonight?
I'm not too sure,
150 games, Britton Nickera. What's he like as a teammate? He's pretty quiet sort of fellow. We don't know much about him. What's he like?
No, he's a really humble dude, really awesome family man, and yeah, this week it was about him, but he didn't really make it about him. He didn't want it about him, and yeah, we respect him highly here.
Moving to fifth place, you've got the Broncos and Melbourne Storm, who are on either side of you. You feel like you're ready to go with them?
Yeah, ready to go after that second half. We really needed that, and we've got a bit of a break now, 10 days off, so we're ready to go.
All right, mate, congratulations, and go and have a rest after those 2 tries.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Freddie. Yes, what an effort it was from Braydon Trindle. Also, too, that early in the first half, we saw that late hit on Trindle by Damien Cook. You can see there late contact on the kicker. We saw a very similar incident to this one last week with a very different outcome as well. This was Jerome Luai when the Tigers were facing the Panthers on Sunday afternoon.
Well, they're identical. They're identical, aren't they?
But the punishment was
totally
was different.
way. Tonight was play on. Last week was a penalty, obviously. So, look, I said on 100% footy on Monday night the Jerome Luai situation was ridiculous. Should not have been a penalty in any game ever. And tonight was identical, absolutely identical. And thankfully, it wasn't a penalty for our game. Thankfully, it wasn't a penalty.
They got it right tonight.
It did not deserve to be a penalty. So, look, I'm a Shark. I would love to see a penalty there, but it's not a penalty. So, thankfully, they got it right. But as we know, the only thing consistent about the NRL is they're inconsistent. That's about it.
So the only consistent thing about the NRL is what being...
They're a little bit inconsistent at times. At times.
So tonight was the right call?
100%. It's not a penalty. Like, it's simultaneous contact. We can't let ball players just do what they want and just dictate the defensive line. That's not what the game's been. You know the other thing? They throw the ball, they kick the ball up in the air. There's a fullback standing under it, catches the ball, gets hammered straight away. Straight away gets hammered. 9 times out of 10, almost every single kick these days. But they let that play on. You've got to be able to kick pressure the kickers.
Anyone at home watching that game or in the crowd as well has to be happy with the result from tonight's game. It's rugby league. That needs to be play on the way that they called it. So great work to the refs tonight.
Yeah, well, there you go. All right, well, let's get all the latest news from around the grounds and head over to Em.
Thanks, Danica. Well, there's only one concern for the Sharkies, really, and Braydon Trindle was actually put on report for a late shot on Kyle Flanagan. So a nervous wait overnight to see what the match review committee hands down. They've got the Broncos up at Suncorp next week, so they certainly need their 5-8 for that one. Some really sad news this afternoon as well. Walker was due to make his return to the NRL this weekend from an ACL injury after he played in the New South Wales Cup last weekend, but he has actually broken his thumb at training. He's going to need surgery and will be out for a minimum of 4 weeks. So devastating for Sammy and for the Roosters, so wishing him all the very best in that recovery. And of course, the countdown is on. It's only around the corner now, July 16. Gal up against Sonny Bill on Stan Sport. You can scan the QR code on your screen now. And Gal, I know in the lead-up, a lot of the talk was about the rounds, and you were saying, I want 10 3-minute rounds, and eventually you caved. Why is that, and is there any chance that it's going to be changed? Come on.
No, I've done my best. No, look, Sonny Bill, this cross-code boxing superstar we all know, this amazing athlete, has refused to fight 3-minute rounds, only wants to fight 2-minute rounds, so that's what it's going to be. And unfortunately, Sonny generally gets what he wants. So it'll be 2-minute rounds, but you know what I just can't wait to see? His excuse when I beat him at his own game. That's going to be the most exciting thing to see. When I smash his face in at his own game, what's the excuse going to be then, Sonny?
So it's
we'll wait and see.
All signed, sealed, delivered, 2 minutes?
Signed, sealed. Oh, I've signed. Look, I'm happy to change it. If you want to be a man and change it, I'm happy to change it, but I doubt he will. Speaks volumes.
Have you
of who he
spoken
is.
to Sonny recently at all?
I don't talk to Sonny, no.
Why would he talk to Sonny?
Any weigh-ins or...
No, well,
Any
no,
media events?
No,
Well, Wayne doesn't have them for a bit now.
Yeah, the weigh-in's not until the day before the fight, so that's a fair way off. But
You'd have to both turn up.
yeah,
I'll
turn up to that. I'll turn up to that. Don't worry. But I mean, I'm not sure what other media events are going to happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, okay.
That's up to the promoters.
There you go. Do you think you'll ever be friends ever again? You and Sonny?
Nah. I was never a fan in the first place.
They're fighting words, Gal.
We're going to fight.
All right, well, all the details you need to know are on your screen there. July 16, scan the QR code and it can instruct you how to order it on Stan Pay-Per-View as well. Tickets are, of course, on sale too. We cannot wait for this one. It's getting fiery.
I'm laughing at the boys in the background. I coach them. They're in my footy team and they're carrying on.
All right, well, stick around. We've got plenty more coming your way here this evening on Kia Thursday night knockoff. Up next, Cameron Smith joins the panel to discuss Daly Cherry Evans axing from the Queensland team and what we can expect from Billy's new look Maroons next Wednesday. And a reminder too of what we have in store over the weekend here on 9 and 9 Now. Tomorrow, DCE will need to put a tough week behind him when he runs out for the Seagulls as they travel to the Gold Coast to take on the Titans. Sunday footy, looking forward to this one. The Rabbitohs and the Doggies battling it out once again at a core stadium. All that, plus the second State of Origin clash next Wednesday. That is live from Perth, and the only place you can see it all is Nine's Wide World of Sports. NRL on 9 across 9 Now and YouTube has you covered after the final whistle goes on Sunday.
Boom, now we've got some life here.
Cure the Monday blues with the Billy Slater podcast. Tuesday is Queenslander with our two Maroon legends, Wall and Lockie.
The last 2 weeks he's played the house down.
Wednesday is jam-packed, Fred in the 8th and 6 tackles with Gus to get you through the commute.
Everyone targets him. Opposition coaches target him. Opposition players target him.
Thursday, hear from the immortal Andrew Johns.
Everyone started to clip her up, a bit of manscaping.
And as the footy kicks off for another week, we've got you covered with highlights, presses and the biggest talking points from the game we love.
Full time, New South Wales 1-0 over Queensland.
I guess with losing comes the question, so yeah, I'd love the opportunity to come back and correct it.
An extraordinary bit of football by the 35-year-old Queensland captain who gets better by the year.
How good is he? A lot of the talking point after the game, Bill, was DCE, whether it's time's up. What's your thoughts on that?
Given our performance in game one, something needs to change. And whether that's personnel change or we just need to shift our mindset, I'm not sure yet.
And on behalf of the worst ever Queensland team, thank you very much.
I wouldn't drop Cherry Evans, I really wouldn't. I know the other kid did and is close, and I know he came off the bench and looked great, so I think they need the experience.
You won't hear a negative word from me about Daly Cherry Evans, what he's given this jersey, and that'll be with all Queenslanders and with Daly for the rest of his life.
This is what we do it for, this moment here.
But we just feel that Tom Dearden is the right person for the number 7 jersey right now.
Yes, it certainly has been a big week for Queensland as we head into State of Origin Game 2 at Perth Optus Stadium. Cam Smith joins us here on the panel. Cam, obviously one of the big talking points that we've spoken about all week, and probably in the lead-up as well, was DCE, Daly Cherry Evans being dropped. Do you see a period of time where he would ever make it back into the Queensland side? Say if something did happen, God forbid, to Tom Dearden in Game 2?
I'm not sure, Danica. I actually haven't even thought about that scenario. Look, maybe if they ran out some options to fill that number 7 jersey. But I think Billy has made his intentions clear of where he sees that position moving forward and who he wants to play there, and that's Tommy Dearden. He's gone for the younger man in this second game. Now, a lot of people have criticised the move, but, Billy's in a tough position. He's in a tougher position than any other person that comments on the selections of the Queensland side. He's the head coach. At the end of the day, if this team fails in Game 2 and New South Wales wrap up the series, well, he's the man in charge and he's the one that falls on his own sword. So he's come up with a tough decision to leave out his skipper.
Cam, obviously moving forward, Tommy Dearden, what excites you about him starting?
I just like the way he competes, Alana. Yeah, I think he brings an enthusiasm and a new energy to the footy side. You've seen that in Game 1 when he got on in the second half. It's actually, there's been some comments around Tommy Dearden and his lack of experience. He's actually played a fair few Origins now, and he has started. If you remember his debut match, going back a couple of years now, when Cameron Munster was ruled out late when he had COVID, he come out and played a tremendous game for Queensland. So, look, I know Billy, I know everyone inside that camp have complete faith in Tommy Dearden. I think everyone knew this was going to be huge news, right? After the announcement that Daly Cherry Evans wasn't going to be in the footy side. But I guess a decision had to be made at some stage. And I think Billy, being in the position he's in, having lost that first game, he's really in a tough position. If he keeps Daly there and they go on to lose game 2 as well, he'd be criticised for not going with someone new, I believe.
It's the biggest call of his coaching career, but
Yeah,
at one point he had to pull the trigger, and it was at a point where the series is on the line. So if you're going to pull it, you're going to have to pull it now while it is still alive.
Well, before it's too late. You make a great point, Danica. The series is still alive. That's the beauty of State of Origin. It's best of 3. You know, a lot of people are talking right now like Queensland are well and truly out of it. New South Wales were quite dominant in game 1. Queensland were far from their best. They lacked discipline. They lacked a bit of connection. But I think the move by Billy goes beyond game 1 in Brisbane and that loss. They've really struggled to score points. They really have. They've failed to score. What have they scored? 1 try in the last 2 matches? Is that right?
In the last
80 minutes.
Well, in the last 7 Origin games, they're averaging 19 points.
Yeah,
it's not a lot.
Yeah, well, especially Alana, when you're playing against a side like New South Wales right now, with the calibre of player they have, you need to be scoring, 20 plus to give yourself an opportunity to win.
It also had a bit of a flow-on effect in other decisions as well that needed to be made. So obviously, Cam Munster now comes in as skipper. We saw a new look Cam Munster as well. The mo's gone. He's had a wash of the hair.
Serious Cam Munster. This is strange.
Captain Cam, yeah. I reckon he shaved that off after Billy told him that he was going to be the captain. I got no doubt about it. I said it myself. I seen him on the news, with after the announcement. And I said to my wife and children, he shaved that mo off as soon as Billy told him he was going to be captain and look respectable. But I'm happy for Cam. I've played many seasons with him at the Melbourne Storm. I played 6 seasons with him, and to see the growth that he's had from a young guy, a teenager coming into first grade, playing fullback in his first 2 seasons with the Melbourne Storm. He actually covered for Billy Slater with he had back-to-back shoulder reconstructions in 15 and 16. To where he is now as a premiership player, State of Origin player, international, and now Queensland's captain.
Well, you know him so well. He'll help Tom Dearden too with his starting role in the 7 as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's a big stage, Alana. The series is on the line for Queensland, but Tommy Dearden, he's been there and done it before. He is a young man, but he's also a leader as well. He's a co-captain of the Cowboys. He's played in a lot of big matches. He's played in this position before for Queensland, so he'll be up for it. He as I said, the best quality of Tommy Dearden is he loves competing. He'll be right amongst it come Wednesday night.
And I think it's fair to say as well, start of the week, a lot of the focus was on Queensland with all the changes that were getting made. But now the focus is certainly on the Blues, because we've seen Brian To'o under an injury cloud. But the biggest news today, Jerome Luai brought into camp because Mitchell Moses has been ruled out with a calf injury.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Look, Mitch Moses, I think the best thing about this scenario for Blues and Blues fans is that they know that it's worked. They know that he just slots in there. Like the conversation about Mitch Moses, he got it first and foremost over Jerome, but it was only 6 months ago that they were playing alongside one another, Jerome Luai and Nathan Cleary. That's not something you forget. That's like getting back on a bike with the two of them joining one another again in the half. So I think it'll work brilliantly. The fact that Mitch Moses is out is obviously devastating for Blues right across, but Jerome Luai, for me, he slots straight in and gets the job done.
Yeah, they know their games back to front, inside out, Luai and Cleary.
They've been playing together since teenagers.
Yeah, since they were young boys. You got to remember, Jerome Luai, he played in all 3 games last year in New South Wales winning series. He's an integral part of their win. And I believe, for game 1 this year, it was pretty close between himself and Mitch Moses. Mitch Moses got the nod. did a pretty good job in game 1 as well. So, look, from a Queensland point of view, hearing the news today, Mitch Moses out, a little bit of disruption in the preparation, but, with Jerome Luai coming in, you sort of look at it and go, well, it's horses for, it's 50-50 really. Like, there's no huge difference. I don't think it'll change too much to New South Wales' plan.
It's like they had a little break away from each other. Now they're back on. The team's back
well,
together.
there was a little bit of niggle last week.
There was a little bit of
wasn't
niggle.
there.
Was
They'll
that?
be best mates again.
They're going to have to make up there. Were you surprised, though? Matt Burton's obviously in the extended squad. He's 18th man. If you were him, would you be a bit disappointed that you weren't looked at?
Yeah, well I think he was. I think I've seen some comments today from Laurie saying he was a little bit disappointed that he missed out because he was 18th man. But it makes sense. Jerome just comes in. He's already got the established combination with Nathan Cleary. I think the balance between those two is more suited to this game than what Matt Burton would have been if he'd come in. Matt Burton's coming out of a footy side that are on top of the ladder and they're playing well, and he's playing well as well. But I think Laurie spoke about too the versatility that he has as an 18th man. If they were to lose someone, he can play pretty much any position in the back line.
That's unfortunately probably the worst thing for Matty Burton.
Well, it's cost him a start spot, yeah.
Exactly, and how many times over and over. But the other thing is, too, for Jerome, they only get 2 more sessions, so it's very quick. He needs to. He's been in there. He knows how to play alongside a lot of those players. He knows that origin style, so it probably makes the most sense for him to slot in, and unfortunately to have the versatility of Matty Burton as 18th man.
We'll talk about players knowing each other. What about tomorrow night, Friday night footy here on 9? Titans up against the Seagulls. Des Hasler and Kieran Foran up against their former side, Manly. This is going to be an exciting one.
Big game for both sides. Coming off a loss last week. Manly with that, a game that they should have won against Newcastle, and heavy loss for the Titans. They're not in a good spot at the moment, the Titans. They're not playing great footy. Bo Famore comes back into the side. He misses out in that Queensland team.
But they lose their captain.
Tino.
No Tino.
And
no
Mo
Fotuaika.
Yeah, so a couple of big outs for the Titans. Turbo's back. Turbo's back, so big in for Manly. Oh, look, I think Manly bounced back. They were disappointing, very disappointing last week, particularly second half. Failed to finish the game against Newcastle. I think they'll have too much firepower against the Titans.
You've got to think so. You've got to think Cherry Evans wants to come out and have an absolute blinder as well.
Yep. All right, well, all the action of that one right here on Nine's Wide World of Sports from 7:30 tomorrow. It is time for the Fergo's favourites. One of our favourite times of the night.
Yeah. All righty. So kicking it off with my 1 point. Look, I thought the back three for the Cronulla Sharks were unbelievable, but I actually went with Aden Fanua-Blake. He played just under 70 minutes, ran for over 195 metres, but off the back of his defence, he was huge through the middle, 47 tackles, and then I thought the outside backs were really able to benefit from him. Yeah, huge effort, and in every moment right throughout, even when they didn't have that momentum. My 2 points, I went with their 5'8", Braydon Trindle. I thought he obviously scored 2 tries and set one up, but I just thought particularly after half-time, he came out and made a real statement. I thought he had a lot of control in his game. His kicking game was brilliant, but also just his intent and the style that he went. When he straightened up and he threw that ball to Nikora, that really set the tone in their attack, gave them a little bit more shape. So I gave him my 2 points, and then 3 points, bit of a no-brainer through the middle. Great to see Brayley. His running game, obviously, and Freddie highlighted it very early on. After he just set up Trindle for his first try, was that I think last week he only ran for 30-odd metres, and he after setting Trindle up, he'd already run for more than that. But yeah, he played unbelievable. That was where they won and dominated, particularly as the game started to get away, was through the middle. Great ruck recognition. Setting up his players, bringing his forwards onto the ball, and also just back. He had that try disallowed as well. But yeah, great performance from Brayley.
Yeah, great performance from Blake Brayley. And tonight he's our Kia Player of the Match. So let's hear from him now. He's standing by with them.
And with our Kia Player of the Match, Blake Brayley. Blake, congratulations on being Player of the Match and also the victory. How good does this feel?
Yeah, it feels great. It's been a couple of weeks now since we've come over the 2 points and come back home. We're going to put on a show, and Britain's 150th. There's no better way than hopefully get the 2 points, and I'm just proud to be winning tonight.
You must have been happy personally with your running game tonight, setting up that try, and particularly after the last couple of weeks, we could see a real difference. Yeah, definitely. We know the game's a lot better when you're running instead of just tackling. So it was a great time tonight, and I'm just glad we won tonight. What was the difference in that second half?
It was just our defence. We backed our defence there, and I thought we did a good job holding them out of the try line, and obviously scored a few points there towards the end, but it was off the back of our defence.
I'll let you go and join everyone. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, big congratulations to Blake Brayley there, our key player of the match. But stand by because we are sending Paul Gallen into the sheds right now. He's locked out at the moment, but I'm sure they're going to let him in for that and plenty more coming up here on your Kia Thursday night knockoff.
Change him after a very gutsy win. Let's go see him. Sione Katoa. The man doesn't talk. Let's see if we can get him to have a chat. Sione, hey. Now listen, mate. You ready for a chat?
Yeah.
Now, how's the body? You come back from a shoulder reconstruction. How's it going?
It's good now. Last week wasn't that good. This week's a lot better, more confident.
2 tries tonight, mate. I thought your tries were pretty good tonight. Well done.
No, it was good. It was good to have some fun. It's been a long time, so yeah, I enjoyed it.
Now, mate, tell us a little bit about your fishing. We know you love fishing. What's the biggest fish you've caught?
Biggest fish, big eye tuna, 60 kilos. The Tongan Fisherman on YouTube, Instagram, check it out.
Well done, mate. Congratulations tonight. Great victory. Let's get his mate, Ronaldo. Mate, great win tonight. Well done.
Yeah, it was obviously a good one. Disappointed with the first half, but come home all ourselves, so happy.
Mate, I've got to be honest. There was a terrific tackle by yourself after half time. Really fired the middles up. I don't often give wingers rap, but it was a great tackle.
Mate, I always tell the middles in training sessions they can get it any day, mate.
Well, mate, but this can be sometimes your downfall. You give so much energy to the Sharks, but at times you give energy to the other team also. Has Fitzy spoken to you about that?
Yeah, we had a quiet conversation in his office about bringing the energy towards the boys. So a simple way to put it, don't be a Derek on the field and get the job done for the boys.
You've done a great job tonight, mate. Well done. Congratulations.
Cheers, my man.
I know he wants an interview. This man, Toby Rudolph, he wants an interview.
What's on here?
Mate, well done. I've got to be honest. I thought you went on in the second half and changed the game. What do you think?
In a weird way, I sort of did. Like, I got on the field, and then all the points just started being scored, but I didn't do anything. But
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, well, it's what happened, right? It's the truth.
One of my 9 colleagues, Danica Mason, thinks when you're out there at times, you looked a little bit tired. How was your fitness?
How did it look? I was buggered. I was awful.
But it's good to be back. How's your ankle? Syndesmosis injury, is it okay?
Yeah, mate, it feels good. So I had surgery 7 weeks ago today, and really pleased to get back sort of a week earlier than normal. And look, still plenty of work to do in the lungs and all that, but 10-day turnaround to fix it, and really looking forward to next week now after this win.
I thought you were great, mate. Well done. Congratulations on the victory. Back to you, Danica.
Cheers.
Oh, wow. It's getting a bit hot and steamy in those Cronulla Sharks sheds. Good to see Toby Rudolph back from that ankle injury, that's for sure. All right, we'll stick around. We're going to be back to wrap it all up after the break. Well, there you go. That song ringing out all across the Shire as the Sharks consolidate their spot inside the top 8 with a great win here this evening. A huge weekend of footy coming your way here on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Tomorrow night in Friday Night Footy, we have the Titans take on the Seagulls. Then Sunday afternoon live from 3 p.m. from Accor Stadium, the Bunnies taking on the Bulldogs. And then, of course, the one that we're counting down to, State of Origin Game 2 live from Optus Stadium in Perth. All the coverage right here live, free and exclusive from 7 p.m. But right here, right now, it is all about the Sharks. A great win for them over their rivals, their local rivals, the St. George Illawarra Dragons here tonight. Thanks for joining us here on Kia Thursday Night Knockoff. It's great to have your company. Bye for now.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sport.